Welcome. I'm Dr. Lynette Wiest, and this video is about the incredible wisdom and perfection of nature's economic system. Each of our lives holds the opportunity to become a valued resource in nature's interdependent family. But we have distorted our mentality to the point that our human systems and our economy detach us from nature's resources and create systemic patterns that misalign us with the natural rhythms that we are embedded in and made from. This causes us painful problems that roll across the planet. We desperately try to control and get nature to distort with us, to align with our misalignment, but we must shift into the reality that nature's economic system controls us. Only then can we find our valuable role in nature's economy. We contemplate and sometimes fear the idea of global economic governance. But there's already a global governance. It's called nature. By thinking we govern nature, we blind ourselves from the true value, from our true value in nature. This is the third in a series of videos that I am doing about nature and about the human role in nature's family. There are 4 parts in this video, and I'll explain those in a minute. First, please realize that nature is a living body of interconnected parts emerging over time. In its current state of existence, its current state of emergence, we humans are a part of its existing body, which I'll also refer to as nature's family. Nature produces us. We do not produce nature. Nature's emerging body, and any emerging body of life, is different than an object put together without a life force. If you put the parts of a car together, you can make it work, but it did not emerge from something that didn't exist before. You can't put the parts of a human body together and make it be alive. Life requires an emerging of what is new. Nature's body is an ongoing emergence of life, and humans are a unique part of its emergence. Nature is not here for us. We are an outgrowth of it. We can make operating systems, but an operating system is not the same as living systems. Living systems can make operating systems, but they're not defined by or limited to those systems. Our bodies are living systems embedded in nature, and nature is embedded in living systems beyond our understandings. So are these bodies walking sticks for our souls? We need nature's emerging family, but it doesn't need us. In this family are many interdependent relationships. We humans are amazingly positioned so that when we benefit nature's family, we benefit ourselves. Our natural and best understanding for life and purpose is found in the realization that we are each a unique member of the whole family of nature. So there are 4 sections in this video. In section number 1, I will dive into 5 foundational elements of nature's economy, and these elements are goal setting, resource distribution, interdependent relationships, valuation, and power versus force. I'll compare and contrast the way that humans understand and use these elements with the way that nature uses them. Section 1 is approximately the first half of this video. In section 2, I'll talk about a vision of the present, how we envision the future, and how we have blinded ourselves from discerning economic solutions that are really lying right in front of our eyes. Nature's ecosystem sustains and evolves itself where diversity meets interdependence. We are a part of nature, and so inherent in us is the need and ability to thrive at the intersection of diversity and interdependence. Section 3 is about ways to heal our misunderstandings and align our thoughts and behaviors with nature's resource systems we are embedded in. And in section 4, I'll share why I know we can rise to the occasion of joyfully embracing our interdependence with all lives, and that we can act responsibly as we impact and are impacted by all life. We can always create justification to not value all lives, but it is to our demise, and we know this. We can look to solutions that go beyond what we currently know and go beyond what we have currently done, or go beyond what we have done before. New ways of being that support all life will be supported by all life, and so we can't lose if we choose wisely. At the end of this video, I'll give a brief description of the other videos in the nature series. And please subscribe to the channel for more of these videos. And if you find them valuable, please share them. Our species has wonderful and mighty power when we plug into and align with the power source of nature's governance that we are made from and operate within. We are meant to serve a mighty purpose in this world by synchronizing with the rest of nature to bring about yet unimagined beauty and joy. When we are misaligned with the natural world we're a part of, we lose our abilities to serve life. We become toxic, complaining because the rest of the world has not made the comfort and survival of the human species its goal. We think that we're trying to survive despite, rather than in partnership with, the needs of all other life. And so we're tempted to ask ourselves, how should we understand nature in order to save ourselves and our species? But this is the wrong question. We are interdependent, and so we must find our value within the ever-emerging body of nature. Then, we will not only survive, we will thrive. And so the better questions are, how do we understand nature in order to respect the purpose and meaning of each life in the whole world, including our own? What role gives value and purpose to the human species in the economy of nature? And how do we best access the power of that role? This video looks at these questions. We humans can benefit the whole family of nature, the family that we live within. So section number 1, I'm going to discuss 5 foundational building blocks for economies, and specifically I'm going to compare and contrast the ways nature uses these with the ways humans understand, misunderstand, and use these building blocks. So element number 1, goal setting. Goals in nature are about process, not about task completion or achievement. Nature has already achieved the creation of life and the interdependence of all beings. Thus, the task is complete. The goal now is the quality of the process being the emerging family of nature, the balance and cooperation of everything for the greatest benefit to the family of nature. Every life is a part of this emerging family. There is no family completion. Nature's systems are set up so that each moment of the process is an opportunity to relate everything together in ways that enrich all life. In contrast, humans tend to measure goals as achievement and completion rather than the goal being the quality of the process. Often human goals are measured in achievements of money, power, and winning. These are metrics of competition rather than metrics of cooperation and relationship. Nature sets goals with the health and well-being of the overall collective of life as the priority. The health and well-being of humans is one part of nature's goals, but we are not the goal of nature. Nature does not prioritize human survival over the survival of the collective body of nature. Nature's goals are created at the intersection of intelligence and wisdom. From this intersection, nature creates an emerging ecosystem which currently supports human life. As in any family, the goals in each life have unique potential purpose and impact. But if humans continue to impact this ecosystem in ways that would undermine the sustainability of nature's family, nature's emerging ecosystem won't support human systems. In contrast to nature's goals, humans' goals do not require the overall well-being of nature or even the health of the human species. Human goals tend to be personal. And while it would seem that the measure of success should include personal happiness, this is not even the case. Human goals tend to be measured by competition, with financial competition, the money game, being a prime example. Even if a goal is not directly measured in money, the cost-benefit analysis will tend to be limited to whether the goal costs more money than it provides. If the goal were happiness or well-being, a limited metric like money would not be used to measure the quality of a goal. Ironically, we compete in this way. We are destroying what supports us as we do this. Until human goals align with nature's goals, we will be in a state of resource crisis. By refusing to change, we limit ourselves from the abundance of nature. And we blame nature for not giving us what we want, for not making us, the humans, and our comfort, nature's priority. And I'll say more in a little bit about money and the limited metrics when I discuss valuation. So nature is a family of lives, a web of interdependent relationships. Lessons and creations emerged over time, and we are made of these. Everything we do, every goal we have, impacts life throughout time. The generations of nature go before and beyond what our intellect knows of the past, present, and future. Nature wisely and intelligently communicates to teach us the quality of our goals and the sustainability of what we create. For example, our bodies are nature, and they signal to us what is healthy and what is not. When we create smoke, we cough. When we create poison, we get sick. Our emotions are physical creations. They are created by our thoughts. And when we think thoughts of fear, we create discomfort in our bodies, messages from nature. Thoughts of love create joy and feel good. The messages to us from nature are endless. Human goals drive inventions, and our inventions tool more goals. When they are based in fear, they create greed, leading to hoarding and scarcity, and this leads to system failure over time. We're supposed to use lessons to accumulate wisdom. Inventions, innovations, and creations from wisdom uplift life. However, we humans tend to create goals for the purpose of navigating around the lessons that nature is trying to teach us. This is ignorant, but we masquerade our ignorance as intelligence. A process goal of nature is the ongoing rebalancing and evolving of self-healing for the collective family of life. Nature uses symptoms as opportunities for change, evolving old patterns and emerging new patterns. Symptoms, taken seriously, are reasons to grow, not reasons to fear. Because of this, health evolves to higher planes. If symptoms could be healed by fear, then the greed and scarcity fear creates would become foundational elements of emergence. But fear causes greed and thus scarcity, and so it does not fit into nature's goals. Nature creates with healthy responses to emerging conditions. It does not react emotionally. It is internally powered and ever creating. It is not rigid, defensive, or stuck in its ways. So why do humans swing between fear and greed as we develop our economies? Well, because we've created a mental construct of scarcity which we give great value to. Human goals require systems that constantly take and use more than is sustainable. That is, in part, because our decisions are constructed from fear. Fear-based beliefs build narratives that we will lose what we need unless we hoard. We announce that others will take from us, and so we justify taking and hoarding money, food, property, and any other resource that we think can help us. Goals of accumulating and hoarding are not aligned with nature's goals of creating evolving ways to share resources. A sustainable life determines its accurate needs without the factors of fear or blame. Mahatma Gandhi said, quote, "Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need, but not every man's greed." End quote. Nature has given humans great abilities to imagine and think in the abstract. These abilities are to be used for the goal of benefiting nature's entire family. But by not seeing our accurate value to nature, we mistrust and misuse our abilities and cause scarcity for ourselves and for some other parts of nature too. But for nature as a whole, our toxic impact is only temporary. Nature is in the ongoing creation of healing. It has no need to support that which no longer serves it. When we compete with that which directly supports us, we destroy ourselves. Nature attempts to teach us to cooperate, not compete, with the interdependence of life. But if we are not something that nature can heal within itself, it must heal by getting us out of itself. We cooperate with healthy evolution, or we don't. We choose. When we have goals that compete with nature's goals of the collective well-being, we see symptoms of our misalignments. We see physical, mental, emotional, relational, and societal pain and dysfunction. We don't see these in other species apart from the human impact on them. When we try to force our way against the powerful goals of nature, we develop greed, hatred, blame, and anxiety towards ourselves and other species. This stressful energy creates toxic chemicals, natural messengers to us, held in our bodies. We're like a child who has a high IQ and a low maturity level. We are intellectually able to create goals that navigate around taking responsibility for our symptoms. We name a symptom as the problem and blame it for our discomfort. But symptoms are signals that there is an underlying problem causing the symptom. If we insist that the symptom is the problem and that it is the main thing to solve, then we don't solve the actual problem in the foundation. When the goal is to resolve a symptom without solving the underlying problem, we get replacement symptoms, problems that roll across the globe, again signaling that there is an underlying problem interrupting our well-being. We have to go to the roots of problems and be willing to stop feeding them. If we want to thrive and be valuable, we must learn our role in nature and humbly let go of the idea that we can control or compete with this nature we live within. And this leads us to the second foundational element in nature's economy, resource distribution. Instead of trying to manage the symptom of scarcity, we can follow nature's lead in resource distribution. And this means evolving our lifestyles to share what is rare and use what regenerates. Nature's resource distribution carefully balances production and consumption of resources to support the collective and abundant life of nature's family. Energy is used to create evolving health, harmony, and balanced distributions. Supply is according to what's needed, apart from emotional judgment. For example, a tree provides space for a bird's nest according to what is most aligned with the needs of both the tree and the bird. They don't compete against the needs of each other. They share and create together, respective of their unique purposes. From this synchronicity comes the emergence of further life and further nourishment. And this type of synergistic effect rolls across the planet. There is a balanced leverage of sharing embedded in nature's economy. Supply is aligned with demand. We humans think we can't trust this level of sharing until we dissect and scientifically understand it. But nature limited our human intellect in order to strengthen our humility and trust. Lack of trust wastes time and energy as we try to force nature into the ignorance of our human-centric minds. This is an impossible task, and the energy we waste is lost to us. But when we use energy in beneficial ways, nature recycles energy for us. Nature's resources are ever evolving and changing to sustain a balanced economy of life. We are part of this system of life creating life. We are a resource in nature. But if we choose to be destroyers and not creators, time will heal us out of nature's life creating system. So how did we become so destructive? Well, we created mental constructs that tell us the resources that we need are finite and that they can be patented and that they are the property of just a few lives. Think about the resources of lands we live on. We fight over these resources, and real lives are the collateral damage of our fear and greed. The fear and greed that we wrongly think will lead us to safety. We use faulty mental constructs to assign value to the lives in nature's family. These constructs are like quicksand to our intelligence, and I'll say more about social and mental constructs in a little bit. So we drowned in ideas that misalign our use of resources. For example, it's an impossible idea for an economy to operate on both greed and scarcity and still find ways to provide resources for all. Using energy for greedy actions and the hoarding that comes from the fear of scarcity are outside the balanced system of nature that we depend on. Fear and greed misalign energy use from the resource provisions of nature. They create an environment of competition where we take more than is sustainable in an effort to hoard enough to survive the competition of others hoarding too. This is an impossible balance of greed and scarcity and distribution, and it comes from our fear constructs that fuel greed. Even common instruments for our financial stock market use metrics named greed level and fear level scales. The false narratives that demand competition for resources create a pendulum swing between fear and greed, blinding us from the natural wisdom needed to balance human distribution systems. In this way, we have told ourselves a false story, believing we can organize a successful human-centric economy siloed apart from the laws of nature. So I want to take a minute to talk about competition and cooperation in the context of resource distribution. According to the laws of nature, lives are interdependent, and it follows that cooperation, not competition, drives sustainable resource distribution. Now, competition can be beneficial when done within a cooperative network and framework. Competition within collaborative goals and collaborative efforts supports life. But competition is harmful when it disrupts cooperation or causes collaboration failure. Realistically, humans thrive on cooperation. And when we are in competitions outside of an overarching collaboration effort, we harm ourselves and we're toxic to other parts of nature. So we must be vigilant so that competition doesn't create the illusion of control and success. We are interdependent, and so competing against other life is the opposite of progress. It comes from an ignorance of our impact on the collective and thus on each life and on ourselves. The Shuar people are an indigenous community living in the heart of the Amazon jungle. As a part of nature, they constantly are evolving and changing. An elderly Shuar named Yajuana, Yajuana, said, quote, "For us, the word progress does not apply if it threatens other species or could possibly harm future generations, or if it ignores the spirits. How could that be progress?" End quote. Each species' ability to thrive impacts all species, whether directly or indirectly. And no one species created nature's family. All are creating it. So generally speaking, humans have marginalized non-competitive societies and subcultures such as the Shuar people. Rather than seeing these communities as evidence of human potential, they are seen as dysfunctional by the cultures holding the symbol of material wealth, money, and supposedly winning the competition for social power and control. We have created a man-made economy of competition to gather resources, and this prevents us from aligning with the organic resource balance of nature's supply and demand that we are embedded in and dependent on. The myth that we must win a competition against another life in order to have resources forms a false construct of scarcity. This forms a collective learning disability where we learn to compete more and trust less. We must learn from the past and create a more collaborative future of caring for the collective. We must free ourselves from the traps that we have created, the competition games of fear that are leading us into existential risks. For example, we compete for the best war tools rather than collaborating for the best peace tools. The human species' survival depends on finding ways to communicate and form trusted relationships between groups, not just within groups. To survive, we need collaborative social operating systems based on cooperation and mutual support. Infinite resources, yet undiscovered, wait for us to put the value of interdependence and the infinite power of love above our fleeting false power that emerged from ignorance. In surrendering false power and competition for resources, we will discover the real power that comes in trusting and synergizing within our powerful family of nature. Element number 3, interdependent relationships. So we're going to look at 3 questions. What is nature's family? What are the interdependent relationships in nature's family? And how do humans deal with interdependence? Nature's family includes what we know of and also includes much that we do not know of. The human brain and human consciousness are emergent features in nature's family. This family includes all phenomena of the physical world collectively and all the features, forces, and processes that exist or happen, such as the weather, reproduction, growth, plants, animals, including humans, all the variations of landscapes, the sea, the mountains, and other features and elements. We have created a human narrative that the human economy is somehow independent or opposed to nature's economy. There are even some dictionaries that state that humans are independent of nature. But the idea that we are independent gives us the illusion that we are separate and possibly in competition with nature's economy. Everything over time has come together to create what exists right now. Humans, us, we are here as an emergent resource to serve and create from and for nature in uniquely awesome ways. But if we use our unique abilities to cause destruction, we will no longer be a resource that nature includes and supports. So why is the economy of nature so powerful? And how is it able to select what it uses in supporting the well-being of life? And can we make our human economy work like this too? Yes. In nature's economy, each species is understood to be a valuable, very valuable member, impacting the whole family. When we recognize the value of every life, we serve the family, and we experience the strength of peace and balance that comes from aligning with nature's strong economy. When we estrange ourselves from nature's healthy resource economy, from the family, we make ourselves weak. If we refuse to cooperate with nature's power, we disconnect ourselves from our life source. From a purely physical point of view, we are born into bodies that are literally nourishment for other life. An animal could eat us, and in the end, our body becomes soil for the earth. And this is literal, and it is also a lesson from nature. We are born interconnected, and everything we do impacts the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual environment of all life. We are life, nourishing life. Ask yourself, what am I feeding the world? What fruit grows from my life? Because nature's economy navigates to a balanced system and everything is operating in synergy together, each particular piece plays a critical role in all existence across space and through time. As the soil nourishes the plant brings sun's light into the soil. As nature's resources nourish our lives, we evolve and blossom, and within our roles, we can allow the wise and nourishing light of love into our lives and then extend this out into the lives of nature's whole family. We are supposed to use our unique minds to co-author resource systems to uplift all of nature. But when we don't trust nature or understand our potentials, we limit ourselves and we create the outcomes of our worries and fears. The essence of human problems is in the foundation of man-made understandings and misaligned patterns. We made these using our unique ability to imagine, to think in the abstract. Our ability to imagine was meant to equip us to build relationship systems of long-term collective well-being. We have instead used these imaginations to create false narratives, telling ourselves that we have roles that are external to nature and that we can have control over nature and control the lives within it. These roles do not exist in the fabric of reality. And when reality's facts haven't supported our imaginations, we imagined additional illusions to support unrealistic narratives, and this has caused us so many problems. A worldview that we are not interdependent with all life is inaccurate, and it leads to selfishness. And selfishness is the opposite of self-respect and the opposite of what's accurate and the opposite of being responsible. To say this more clearly, we have misused our unique ability to imagine by imagining what is not true and then choosing to believe it is true and often scaring ourselves to death. This is how we convince ourselves to act against what is best for life. We lie to ourselves, create fear, and act against the best interests of all lives and thus against our own life. In nature, only reality is allowed, and if we try to deny the perfect systems we're a part of, we deny a part of ourselves, and nature has no space or time for denying reality. Element number 4, valuation, meaning the process of determining the worth of a resource, including the resource of life. In nature's valuation process, what decides worth or value? Well, nature first evaluates the ability of something to support and further nature's family. If the element or resource does this, it is given worth. If not, it is not worth sustaining. Nature values sharing, and as a result, nature does not fear scarcity. Nature sustains what is nourishing to the collective, not what is hoarding or depleting resources. We humans create our own scarcity through fear of scarcity, and this position is not sustainable. Without the fear of scarcity, humans could believe that we have enough, and so we would share and not hoard. Nature's valuation process is holistic. Each species and element is valued according to its benefit to the whole. Value is not human-centric. Humans are a resource in the system, but they are not the focus or the goal of it. There is unlimited value available to give in full to every life that serves the family of nature. Value is only limited by refusal to align. The worth of humans in the valuation process of nature is found by calculating how valuable we are to nature's family. To be of sustainable value, we must learn our unique role in the fabric of life, the family we depend on. We must stop trying to control or rearrange the fabric. In our human-centric valuation, we use social constructs to evaluate each species and element of nature according to its seeming worth to humans. Our constructs declare that there is a limited amount of value to be had, that value is earned through competition, and because value is limited, some lives must be of more value than others. These constructs are not created from a holistic foundation, and so they create human behavioral systems that are misaligned with nature's holistic economy. Due to our imagined social constructs and incorrect valuations, we created a symbol to falsely validate the idea of limited value. The symbol is called money. Money is a symbol of scarcity. Money is distributed according to perceptual constructs of competition, such as job status, gender status, race status, citizen status, country of origin status, species status, and the list goes on and on. In other words, human distribution occurs based on values that have no true leverage because they are not actually embedded in or inherent in nature's distribution system. They are values requiring exclusion and competition. And when social constructs of competition for evaluation are questioned, fear sets in, and those in fear cling more tightly to symbolic value, to whatever is measured in money, and not to inherent value. Our misaligned constructs block us from assessing nature's operating system of sustainable resources, and they block us from accessing the understanding of this system of sustainable resources. Feeling this block and not understanding our ability to shift our focus and align with nature, we externalize responsibility and we blame. Blame furthers the belief that we are powerless to change our experience. So this creates fear of scarcity, driving greed and competition, and furthering our faulty belief systems. Why do we do this to ourselves? We struggle and we suffer because of misunderstanding the economy of nature and our role in it. We think we're in control, or that we can be. We think we can tame nature. But nature is trying to tame us for our own survival and benefit. We cannot change the laws of nature. We will never control nature into doing our will. And when we try to control nature, we destroy that which supports us, thus destroying ourselves. This is what a cancerous tumor does until it's removed. But it doesn't have to be this way. We can thrive by embracing opportunities to let go of patterns that waste energy on what we cannot control. We can let go of emotional dependence on beliefs that we made with human-centric constructs. Symbols must be seen as symbols, not as essence. We can value the priorities and morality that are built into the nature we are made of. Just like nature, our priority activity must be ongoing ethical action and never giving up. The morality of nature insists on fulfilling itself through each and every one of us, through every life. Nature does not choose morality. Morality is both a feature and an outcome of nature. Morality is in aligning with what is integral to the collective. Humans have been given the ability to imagine and create ever-evolving ways to empower morality. And as with any ability, this comes with responsibility and free will. We have the freedom to choose to ignore the morality of nature, thus giving the foundational principles of nature that we depend on, giving them or putting them outside of our awareness. We make ourselves ignorant of the foundational principles of nature that we depend on. A life that does not use morality will be misaligned with that which supports it. As Albert Schweitzer wrote, quote, "We like to imagine that man is nature's goal, but the facts do not support that belief," end quote. Due to our ignorance, human centrism values selfishness over self-respect and morality. And this is one reason we can't fully understand the priorities of nature. And no amount of effort can make nature orient around our limited beliefs. Nature offers us a holistic valuation system empowered by truth. Using this valuation system, we can make decisions to create an immune system which would keep dishonesty from infecting and directing faulty human systems. Element number 5 is power. Nature's power to create life is much greater than human forces. Life-giving power is in the ongoing emergence of health and life for the collective whole. The human energy required to try to force our way against this power is not sustainable over time. Nature has the power of all life, synchronizing the power of all life and allowing and guiding everything that benefits the body of nature's family. Nature's ability to synchronize all power is in its embrace of all factors. This ability does not require, nor is it contained within, the limits of human intellectual knowledge. We humans are on a need-to-know basis. We are given glimpses of this collective information according to what we are supposed to use for our best interests. Intellectual information is a tiny piece of collective information. The more potential benefit a life can be to nature's family, the more information and responsibility are delegated to it. As a result, the more damage it can cause if the information is misused. Misuse is a boomerang, resulting in self-sabotage. Humans over-rely on intellectual information, ignoring the reality that there are factors beyond what we know. We are overconfident where we need to be humble to gain power. Human-centric perceptions, priorities, and decisions set up our systems so that the symbol of power for some is paid for with the health and lives of others. This symbol of power is not true power. It is a symbol made from a toxic competition, and it undermines the well-being of the collective family that we all depend on. So what are we supposed to do? Well, our greatest human powers exist at the intersection of our willingness to both depend on other life and to support other life. Our power is in our respect for interdependence, and this means trusting that other lives have value beyond our understanding. Forcing a human-centric plan is incomplete and will fail. We must trust what is greater than ourselves, trusting that we are cared for in a collective-centric system. This is where we find our power to uplift all lives, including our own. We have imaginations to use abstract thoughts to create and invent, for better or for worse. We can misuse resources, or we can nourish resources with our unique mental skills. Nature has made humans able to see beyond logic's limits. For example, in nature's family, love is more powerful than the will to live. We can see this in so many species' expressions of parental wisdom, strength, and purpose. You can watch a cow or a horse cry when their child is sold. You can see a dog grieve the loss of another household pet. You can watch crows grieve over a mate who has died, even dodging traffic to be near the body. You can see a mother deer protect her young at the cost of her own life. And for humans who use love to make decisions, they will share what they have to care for others. Section number 2. What is the vision that we need in order to solve the problems we have created? Well, the solution is right in front of our eyes. We live in the solution while refusing to participate. We must use our lives to nourish the parts of nature that we impact, thus nourishing ourselves. We are each a part of nature, and so inherent in each of us is the need and ability to thrive at the intersection of diversity and interdependence. We are members of nature's very strong, healthy, diverse family. We can either increase or miss out on our family's resources and relationships. Experience the world through a mind that knows you are dependent on the collective well-being. This mind shows you the paths of self-respect and self-care. Your truth is only found in accuracy, not in a fallacy. Self-care comes from respecting all life, flowing with life, not in pushing against it. The ecosystem sustains and evolves itself where all lives are valued, where diversity meets interdependence. Your knowledge of the physical world is always, always incomplete. In contrast, the love living in you holds the highest form of knowledge. This knowledge is universal and has no limits. The opposite of trusting and respecting the power of love in nature is to fear nature and to force your way. But when trust overcomes fear, hope emerges and your physical energy is transformed. We humans tend to deny the healing power of love. We then create operating systems that prioritize life over love and thus short-sighted selfishness over self-respect. And this is one reason that we have such difficulty imagining the priorities of nature. When we cannot define the controller or the boundaries or the regulator of a system, our thoughts have difficulty holding a respect or ethical attitude for that system. But we are a part of nature's family system, a family we don't control, and we must respect the family in order to respect our own lives. The existence of every species and every life is always precarious within nature, including our own life. Humans prioritize time as a measure of existence. Nature is not focused on the length of time that we exist. Time is not a goal for nature. It is an element of construction to be used for creating the fullness of all that nature has to offer. If length of existence was a priority, all lives would be long. We cannot control time or the number of our days, and nature doesn't ask us to. Nature is about the life of the collective. For us, it is time to learn to love our family of nature. What better goal is there? Humans are one species interdependent within the community of all life, and by valuing the quantity of time over the quality of life, we disregard the priority of quality of life for all, and we increase the risk of limited quantity for ourselves. This is the cycle of life and its perfection of wholeness. Nature is a oneness, a one family, offering resources to all its members. Section number 3, where do the solutions lie? What must we learn in order to heal and change and align with the rest of nature? How do we use our skills to benefit all life? Well, nature is the antidote, the teacher, for students who are ready and willing to learn and who want to heal our human disabilities. First, we can learn that success is found in cooperation. We must serve, not try to control our ever-evolving interdependence. We must let go of seeing success as an outcome of competition and let go of judgment and fear. Nature's economy will nourish us as much as we serve it. Second, we must stop lying to ourselves, because when we lie to ourselves, we construct unsteady and unsustainable systems. So we must trust what is true and learn to use honesty and trust to build an immune system that cleanses us of the pollution of dishonesty and misdirection. This will embed ongoing feedback loops into systems of respect and appreciation. Third, we must be in harmony with the systems that are in our natural family. We must be in harmony with the natural systems that we're made of. We can't understand all of the life within nature from our limited human intellect. Man-made ideas are not capable of controlling our role in nature. And we have to admit that we can't understand nature unless we look beyond our brain's limits. Now, the ironic twist here is that we can't best learn about other life by looking away from our own life. We have to look within ourselves, deeper than just our physical body, to understand life and to be open to the desire of all life, the desire to live. Every life of every species is more than just a physical body. It holds a will to live. Fourth, within the power of nature's balanced systems, what are the unique abilities that we have, and what are the purposes of these, and what makes us valuable? To start, we can imagine, we can think in the abstract, and we can contemplate the past, present, and the future to create that which is not yet occurring in linear time. We can imagine and create from constructs that hold a reverence for all life. These constructs will protect us from creating destruction for ourselves and from causing the destabilization of whatever we impact. Our abilities can uplift the quality of all life on this planet. We must stop using these abilities to drive our relationships towards destabilization and our species into self-termination. Despite any abilities we have, we will not survive as a species gone rogue or a cell becoming a cancer. We must work within the patterns of nature to empower our value in nature's processes of enhancing and amplifying all life. This is where we can be of value to the web of life we live in. Fifth, we can resolve our imbalances by looking to nature as our leader, our relationship teacher, our resource manager, our health provider, and the body of life on which we depend for our own lives, our own purposes, and our abilities to thrive. A life detached from nature cannot survive. All are embedded together. It logically and directly follows that to devalue any life is a step towards devaluing your own. Sixth, we are each valued in the will of nature. Nature's will values you. We learn our purposes and thrive by synchronizing our steps within the activities of nature's will. Aligning our will to live, our steps, and our desires with those of all life develops our power to thrive. The economy of nature is a family of balanced relationships. And when we are aligned and cooperate within the family, we benefit from its strength. And when we don't align and cooperate, we struggle and suffer. Man-made patterns and understandings in opposition to nature's economy cause harm and will naturally be removed in the timing of nature's economic design. Symptoms of human misunderstandings are in the pain and dysfunction that we experience mentally, physically, emotionally, and relationally all around the globe. We don't see this in other species except in the impact humans have on those species. Thankfully, symptoms are nature's signals to us, telling us to look deeper into understanding our value and our purposes for being alive. The wholeness of all life is a guiding principle for nature's comprehensive systems. Humans are not able to replicate these systems because we don't have a comprehensive understanding of nature. But we must try to, and we must remember that our try is never fully complete. Our embrace of interdependence must build our human systems. We must humbly acknowledge that we are only one part of something very grand. This is difficult because our principles and ethical understandings are based in a human-centric orientation and a compartmentalized ethics. This kind of ethics has been called an ordinary ethics. Ordinary ethics sees human life as the goal of life. Given we are within the broader principles of nature, it makes more sense to look at the whole of ethics rather than a compartmentalized or ordinary ethics. Whole ethics doesn't exclude anything of nature. And again, this is difficult because our human minds don't understand or have knowledge of the whole scope of the meaning all life. And this is the mystery of life. We must be willing to live ethically in reverence of all life, and this will come from a wisdom that is not necessarily known intellectually or physically. Yet we know this wisdom with our hearts. So what's an ethical life? Well, there's no absolute rules to define an ethical life, and there are no achievements for measuring an ethical life. Defining an ethical life is a question of guiding principles. Wholeness principles of nature must override our compartmentalized principles. Nature's principles must guide the rules and actions and behaviors of our ethical systems. So section number 4. I know we can survive and thrive. And how do I know? Because we have the power of love. And in all of nature, love is the most powerful instrument for change. With the power of love, nothing that is needed is ever surrendered. Our bodies are made of nature and they teach us to use our souls. Our bodies are messengers of nature carrying the answers that we need. Listen to the messages. Hate has toxic chemicals and it feels painful. Compassion feels powerful and it has healthy chemicals that motivate and strengthen our brains. There are so many messages. We must pay attention to the truth and let go of the lies that we imagine. Our bodies are walking sticks for our souls. And as our feet realize that they are part of nature, our souls are less dependent on the sticks. We are healthiest when we are part of goals greater than what one life could do alone. We will thrive nourishing our bodies and souls as we learn to operate in the knowing that each life is significant to our family. While this video was about nature's economy, another video in this series of 7 looks at our human role in nature. Another video is about the values of nature that we are made to live in accordance with. Another video looks at the ways nature's rhythms, cycles, patterns, and seasons can guide us into healthier minds and bodies, and this gives us the ability to synchronize in ways that create relationships and communities of cooperation and joy. And another video is about the way words, meant to be tools for understanding, have become a hyper-focus that blinds us from understandings that are beyond verbal articulation. Please subscribe to this channel and share it with others, and thank you so much for your time.